Right. Let me frame how I'm going to do this. Like I said, everybody spins everything they say. Yeah? So, I'm sick of you guys. Like, there's so much emphasis on, oh, he's biased, he's unbiased, he's neutral in it. If you need that to preface everything you hear to convince you everything is genuine, then, that just proves your listening skills are not critical. You don't need to tell me anything before you say it. You could tell me that you're fucking a right-wing black person bashing shit this. If you tell me the sky is blue and then I say it ain't, it shows I haven't got no critical listening skills. Yeah? So, this is just my take on Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. Look, I wasn't impressed with what I saw. Yeah? So I'm not turning it into a UFC versus boxing thing. I'm not turning it into that. I'm just not impressed with what I saw. And I guess just on the strength of me saying I wasn't impressed with it, and me being a boxing fan, in a way I am. But that's not what it's all about for me. I've seen when boxers are fatigued, like Ali and Frazier in the Thriller in Manila, and they produce brilliant stuff regardless. We see it time and time again in boxing. When these guys fatigue and they start leaning all over each other and, with their incorrect striking techniques, it's just, and this is supposed to be Premiership combat sports pay-per-view. It didn't look like that to me. It just looked like two guys brawling. Two dudes brawling outside a bar. Pay for this big brawl because it's exciting. Rock'em socker robots. No. Give me Crawford's performance against Postor. I don't care how boring you guys say it is. I didn't find it boring. I would rather watch that any day than that. I would rather watch Andre Ward's performance against Alexandra Brand any day before this. Floyd versus Pacquiao any day before that. That, to me, wasn't popping at all. I didn't rate it. And I know some of you are going to say, oh, well, you don't understand about what the components of being an MMA fighter is. You don't know what to look for. I don't need to know what to look for, yeah? When I was a kid watching boxing, now I did a little bit before because my dad made me go, but I still really didn't know what to look for. But when I started watching certain fighters and certain fights, I said, this sport just symmetrically, aesthetically, it all connects beautifully. This is my sport, along with football. This is my sport. This UFC, MMA thing, nah. Don't get me wrong, I've seen better contests than this. But this is supposed to be the Premiership of UFC. It's not good. So good luck to Conor. They're going to be hyping him up now, again. The hype machines will start up again now. But I wasn't impressed with him or Nate Diaz. I don't know. What one is it? I mean, wasn't impressed. Just not an impressive sport to watch in comparison to boxing. Even some of the worst boxing matches that you could arguably define as bad boxing matches is better than that. That's not an alternative to me. For boxing, that's not an alternative for me. It was hard for me to concentrate for all of it, to be honest. It was so amateurish, a spectacle at times. It was hard to, I couldn't concentrate for all of it. Now, personally, I just don't think it's that good. And I know there's a lot of people who agree, and there's a lot of people who disagree. And that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I've watched other combat sports. I used to really like K2, kickboxing. And some of them used to produce some beautiful moves in there, especially Remy Bojanski, I think his name was. And there was a few other guys too. You saw some beautiful moves in there, like setting up strategies for fights and rounds. I don't get that from here. It just looks very random. It just looks very random. Now, when I watched Holly Holm against Ronda, that was nice. That was nice, man. That was nice. And I guess that's the ex-boxer bringing a little credence to that rudimentary looking sport that I saw yesterday between McGregor and Diaz. I don't know, unless I see an early KO or an early strike or some really good boxing and some really good thought and movement, it's just not that good to me, that sport there. It just really ain't that good, you know? And I was saying it on EJ's broadcast yesterday. The combination of wrestling and striking is not a natural fit. You got to either have one of the two. Either let them wrestle or let them strike. You know? It doesn't marry very well. From my view, as a spectator, as an aesthetic spectacle, it doesn't merge very well. You know? Even when Conor was being defensive, it looked so rudimentary. It turned around and that was running. If you're going to talk about running, that's running. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Erislandy Lara mills around the ring. These guys mill. Terence Crawford was milling. That was running. And, you know, it just looks so rudimentary. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate, he's in defensive posture. He didn't want to get yam up like he got yam up last time. Fair enough. But I'm just saying it. To me, I don't need it to be this barbaric thing to get my attention. Like, even holding in boxing, you can see a technique where you've got to stop the elbow from moving and whatever. You got to tie up at the right place. I'm just not getting that. I'm just seeing mauling, a lot of mauling. And yes, I know there's prerequisite moves to stop you getting your arm busted, and you know you got to look out for all that. How to stop that? That's a skill in itself. Getting the person into the hold is a skill in itself. I know all this. I'm just saying that sport looks like an ugly woman. I don't need you guys to come and tell me that I don't understand it. I don't really understand women, but I know when I see one who aesthetically catches my eye. I don't need you to break down the whole of the woman's anatomy. I know what I like to see. And we could even go further than that. I know what personality types I like in women. And I don't have to be a gynecologist to appreciate it. And you don't have to give me Steve Harvey's book on how to understand women. I know what I like and it look good when I see it. And that's that. I know what I like. And I wasn't impressed.